I saw a clip on from what the Dark Puriso Flosion account. I don't know what this was, and it's like one of the most brutal bumps of the year was courtesy of AZM and Hazuki Stardom, like March 26, 2023. And this just like popped up by a timeline. It's like Stardom, and I'm like, look at this spot. I was like, what the f are these girls thinking doing this, right? So it's like, so I just tweeted, because I'm talking about Jerry about condemning things, and this was Stardom. So I put thoughts at Dave Meltzer and at Kenny Omega. Are you willing to condemn this as unsafe and potentially deadly? Okay, and I texted back. Let's see how much traction this gets. This should be funny, right? Like, see the responses, bro. I got like, the response on this. Like, I didn't realize that like there is this like community of like, because I tagged Dave and Kenny in it. Like, there's this community of like staunch female Japanese wrestling, marks that are like very aggressive in defending the product. It's just like, because I'm getting like all these like people like just coming after it, like, and so like the question I asked. So I asked another question on this. I was like, so somebody said one of the guys the marks tweeted this.
Did you sorry, D.I. Did you see the spot, Conan? It's up on the screen now, but I don't know if you want me to make it.
Put it up.
I already saw it. Somebody sent it to me, and they go and they tagged you guys, and they put how many stars do you give this, and I put 5.
Right. So the funny, back in April of 2022. Yeah, I'm watching here. I got it here because I'm looking at my responses.
Okay.
Right, okay. Yeah. You can play it for the fans, but I'm just it's here. But this one guy, Jordan Patu. So in April of 2022, I guess when I originally tweeted about Stardom and Kenny Omega went after me on Twitter and everything because it was a goofy spot and everything else. I guess this guy had tweeted back then, because this was April 2022, and the guy tweeted, and retweeted this. Disco Inferno critiquing AZM high-speed title matches is like Cristiano Felicio critiquing Steph Curry's jump shot. Okay, so I tweeted, this is funny. Who is AZM, and what is a speed title match? Okay. Well, Conan, would you have those exact same questions? Like, have you ever heard of a speed title match?
No. What is it?
Okay. I don't know. But I got ratioed for asking that question from this community of Japanese wrestling fans. They're like, like 80 comments to 23 likes, just tons of quote tweets and stuff. Like, everybody bury me, call me a jobber and stuff, because I asked who is AZM and what is a high speed title match.
You see,
it's like, dude, it's like I'm like,
you got to imagine, bro. This is a subset of wrestling fans that are very into whatever they're into.
It's like fetish stuff, almost.
Almost.
You think about it. Well, just think about the community.
Everybody has to like it, and if they don't, they're not willing to explain. They are willing to bully you, and they are willing to try to cancel you. Instead of saying, hey, a speed match is this, oh, you're a jobber, you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's how they are. They have no respect a lot of them have no respect for the older generation. They think like old is some sort of sin or some sort of malady. You're going to get there sooner or later. One day you were 5 years old, then you were 15, then you were 30. And when you're 15, you think 30 is really old. Then when you get to 30, you think 50 is really old, and then when you get to you're gonna get there sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? One day you're gonna be old, and somebody's gonna be calling you old. But it's just they're immature and they have they're dense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all, and it's really weird how like you've chosen something like a very small, something that should be not a very significant part of your life to be uber passionate about. Like your love for Japanese female wrestling. And it's like you'll vigorously and with vigor and anger defend it. Like you'll waste too much time like trying to people that have just general questions and criticisms of the product. You spend way too much energy defending like something as insignificant as this. And it's like it's really weird to see people like in these it's almost cult-like behavior when you take a small genre of something and become ultra passionate about it. But that's like, like you made a good point. Like people that assume positions where it's a very small segment of society, they maybe feel like they have to kind of like aggressively defend band together and aggressively defend their position. Because like they're
you're not insulting the product. You're asking a question. I could understand if you were being and going, this is who the would watch this. If I like something, I might go off on you and say, hey, learn about what they're talking about. But you're asking a very good question. Who's AZM or AZN or whatever?
What is a high-speed title match?
And what is a high-speed thing? Because I don't even know what the it is.
You've been in the business for 35 years, and I've been in it for 30. Right. So it's like, we're asking something, so it's like, whatever.
But to a young, cat, they're like, oh, look at this old fart. He don't know what the he's talking about. Get with the times. It's like if it would be the same as if somebody didn't know about lucha and then I bury them for not knowing about lucha.
Right.
Lucha, not everybody knows about it. Not everybody likes it. Not everybody follows it. It does have a niche. I don't know if it's a niche. Yeah, probably a niche following in the United States if you're not Hispanic. But in Mexico, everybody knows what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Joe, go to that thread. Can you do the thing where you know how people like post these videos where they'll have the video of scrolling through, like the comments will be scrolling through like in real time. Like, you can like see if you could do that and post it on our Patreon for this. Cause like, this is a fascinating response to this question. Who is ACM and what is a speed title match? And you just have to see these responses. It's unbelievable. It's like, I almost like, how like, the people that tried to kill the cartoonist for like slandering. That's what I feel like I did here. Right. It's like, all right.
That's weird because I was watching a video earlier about how they threatened Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park for the same thing. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I was watching a video about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, did you see Omega hit you back?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I'd get a response. Like, it's pretty funny. Like, these guys are so easily triggered. It's pretty funny. What did he say?
He said,
I haven't seen it because there's so many comments. I didn't even bother. Like, I didn't want to go on a deep dive and like read all my comments on Twitter today.
It's kind of lame. It's just
and plus it's from a couple days ago, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but he responded 4 hours ago. This says.
Oh, what did he say?
It says, I knew that years of huffing Big Show's farts left you a bit slow, but how do you explain the ignorance? Yeah, it's a little. Like this funny, like the guys in the business that tweet back at me. Mm-hmm. Like tweet just like the Marks do. Like you could like sit there. You could take their tweet and like just replace it with some random Marks tweet, and it's the exact same thing. So yeah. But I've never heard of AZM, and I have no idea what a speed title match is.
I mean, who knows?
It's Booker. He doesn't know what it is.
It's just the arrogance of this community. When people are trying to. Whatever. But whatever. It was funny. I did a good troll. The guy actually commented on it. Dave's not going to comment on my stuff.
No,
I just think it's funny. Yeah. I just think it's funny poking the bear on stuff like this. But let me ask you a question. Did Kenny Omega condemn this spot?
No, he did not condemn it.
All right. So this is, and you saw it.
Yeah.
This is. I was like, you're going to broke her neck. Whatever. But who cares? These are great performers. Whatever. So I was like.
You know what it's like, this section of fans, it's like you just want to go to the movies and watch the new Star Wars, right? But then there's fans in the Star Wars audience that have read every novel, every comic, and played every game.
You just want to
How come you don't know Luke Skywalker's middle name and stuff like that?
You're watching Star Wars and you're turning to somebody, you see a spot in the show and you're going, who is that? And the person behind you is like offended that you didn't know who that is because they watch all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But it says here, the title, the High Speed Championship, just means it's meant for fast and high flying wrestlers. So there you go. So it's like X Division or something.
Yeah, right. High speed title, man. I mean, I know, that's funny because like I just noticed today that I got those responses because I guess it must have been because Kenny responded.
Right.
Yeah, that's that because I just noticed that.
What did Kenny respond?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Okay, to do this, Joe. Read a random Mark's comment. Read Kenny's comment. 2 comments. Okay, and then like ask Conan if he can figure out which is which.
Okay.
All right.
This is one of the two tweets to choose from. This is no less dangerous than the drinking, drugs, and no telling what else was going on by your colleagues backstage. Keep living off the fame of those same colleagues while you're at it.
Okay, read the other one.
And here's another one. I know the years of huffing Big Show's farts left you a bit slow, but how do you explain your ignorance?
Okay, which one do you think is from Kenny Omega?
The first one.
Okay.
Second.
Nope. Second one.
Really?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Wow.
That's pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
And then
that's Conan. That's what I'm going to start doing. Like a segment where we'll call it Poking the Bear. I'll tweet a tweet that I'm sure is going to get a response from somebody, like,
right.
but they probably don't realize that that's all I'm doing, and
right.
see if they respond.
Right. Let me see.
But in conclusion, though, for this segment here, Kenny Omega did not condemn that spot. Just want to go on record with that, and it's a very dangerous spot. I don't understand why people, bro. If you can like break your neck, I don't understand how these wrestlers today are like doing this stuff. It's just
because they're trying to make a name for themselves, bro. They don't care.
Had you seen anything like that before, Conan, with someone taking the armbar down to the floor like that? Or is that the first time you saw something like that?
Yeah, that move, that's the first time I've seen it. But I've seen weirder shit than that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, well, of course we have. Well, what's the weirdest, honestly, Conan, is the weirdest thing you've probably ever seen is was it Vikingo that did the thing where he was at the really high elevation, he came down and tried to do, remember that when I told you I was picking on you for, it was a Triple Mania match or something? Like, didn't Vikingo do like a really high dive from somewhere?
No, that was Aerostar.
Oh, Aerostar. No. Here's the craziest thing to this day that I've seen.
They didn't even catch him right, and he could have killed himself.
Right,
yeah.
But here's the craziest thing that I've seen. Friend of yours, we know very well.
Right.
Teddy Hart doing those moonsaults off the top of the cage on the guys, and the guy's not calling it beforehand.
Right.
That's literally like the crazy. Like, think about that. Like, you have to catch him. You might break your back trying to catch. You might get hurt trying to catch a guy, but here he is like that, and like he might kill himself if you don't catch him. That's
but you also gotta understand mindsets are different. Like,
right,
you were a guy that you were okay. I'm gonna wrestle safe and last long and not get hurt, and I'm gonna get over doing that and be entertaining. And then you got other guys that are like, "F it, I'm willing." Look at Sabu. I'm willing to barbed wire my arm. I'm willing to go through tables. I'm willing to, and they're like adrenaline junkies. You know what I'm saying?
Evil Knievel broke every bone in his body.
Right.
And he didn't do it all at once. It's like, after you had broken like 9 bones, like, why are you trying this again? It's like and it's just a weird. It is an extreme end of the bell curve, but just people are wired where they don't like.
Well,
they don't think they're gonna die. Right? Yeah.
I grew up with him just like you did.
Right.
And you got to remember, he was making a lot of money. He was super famous.
Right.
Yeah. And so, and probably the thrill of doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Plus, people were paying for his reputation.
Like back in the day, you had Harry Houdini, who almost died doing one of those water chamber things.
Yeah.
And so, and he actually died because one of his gimmicks was that he had a strong stomach, and he would dare anybody to hit him as hard as they could.
Right.
And he was sick from something, and before he could tense his stomach, this college kid who was a boxer punched him in the stomach, ruptured his appendix, and he actually died from that.
Oh,
yeah,
Houdini, right?
Wow. If your appendix up, you gotta get to the hospital really quick, you die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Raven had that.
That happened to me. Yeah.
You too had appendicitis?
Yeah. No, and it burst.
Yeah, but when you burst your appendix, if you don't get to the hospital ASAP, you're dead. Like that.
I know.
Raven actually went. I remember him. He had the same thing, but he went when it started getting really painful before it burst, and it did burst. But like you said, the doctors, like you were saying, well, what did the doctors tell you? They said,
I was a kid, bro. My mom actually brought me in, and they wouldn't take care of me, and she went off until they took care of me. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy, huh?
It's weird because the appendix is totally useless too. It has no purpose.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? But it's funny, guys like Evil Knievel, they're just like, I get, you said Harry Houdini, like, there's just a certain very small percentage of people on this planet that are wired like tightrope walkers.
Like you see these videos
That's
of these guys that walk.
was.
Right, yeah, right. It's like, there's not a lot of people. You know what's funny if you think about it? It's like a guy like Teddy Hart is probably like in this very, 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 very tiny percentage of people on the planet that
like
are wired
Darby
like
Allin,
that. Right.
Right.
And there's not a lot.
Jeff Hardy.
Right. And honestly, if you think about it, I don't want to really make excuses, but like people like that are constantly getting in trouble. It's like I wonder if it's just they can't control. Like your brain is not wired to keep yourself safe. It's just wired differently.
I just think they're just rebellious spirits, kind of like I was.
Right.
And it's just you walk to the beat of your own drum. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever when you were growing up, did you ever start a fight that you thought you would probably lose, like fist fight?
No.
No, you always like. I guess there's like some people
no,
are
usually,
just right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, usually people would start with me. You know
right.
what I'm saying? I usually wouldn't start it. Yeah.
But it's like that thing where you see these like smaller people like going after bigger people. I used to see it all the time. There was a country bar in Georgia. I forget what it was called. Not far from our house. But on Wednesday
you consider yourself a country boy?
Yeah, thank God I'm a country boy.
All right.
But it was a great, tons of hot girls, and the Wednesday before Thanksgiving was always the busiest night of the year to be packed, right?
Right.
And but it was always good on like when we'd be home off the road, if we were home on a Wednesday or a Thursday, we'd go to the country bar sometimes because there was a lot of hot girls there, right? Bro, Buff used to go, okay, because there's the same area, we all live in the same area. Unbelievable the amount of people that would just try to start Buff that were like considerably smaller than him. Like I'm going, like what you guys, like people, yeah. But it's just like like I said, it'd be like Darby Allin, like trying to picking a fight with Wardlow. And like you look at like the size difference, and and Buff would always have but then every once in a while he'd smack somebody, because they'd shut him up for yeah, it's great.
Liquid courage. I remember Eddie would.
Eddie picked a fight with Hawk, bro. Right?
Yeah.
With Road Warrior Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
How about Tony Hom hitting Hawk?
Who did?
Or Animal? Tony Hom. Remember Tony Hom, the guy from Finland that he was like a racist?
Oh, yeah, right. Ludwig Borger.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I knew him when he first broke in California.
Right. Oh, he'd be a good manager for the Imperium.
A great manager for the Imperium.
Far right, white nationalist, right?
He wasn't very well liked either. So I remember when he passed.
He didn't give a bro. He was a big guy from Finland who was like an alt-right guy, and he would say in front of black people, "Yeah, I went to the movies. Well, you guys always talking during the movie. You should shut up." And I was like, bro, I need to walk away from here.
It just shows you how you go to other parts of the world and they just don't they talk like this, and when they do see him, they don't understand.
Right, it's normal, right? They don't know how. Yeah, they think it's okay to talk because in their country they could probably get away with it.
Right, right. Yeah.
There's like 5 black guys and 10 million white boys.
Exactly.
Right. They have no choice but to put up with it.
Yeah.
But to comment and wrap up on what Disco said before, sorry, Conan, about like adrenaline junkies and maybe it's something mental. It says people with ADHD do thrive on adrenaline rushes, and most people with ADHD gravitate towards risky like that. Even not just like I'm gonna bungee jump, but risky jobs, risky sexual behavior, all that shit.
No, but most people like that are like gamble. They're gambling, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so which is kind of like a safe outlet for that type of way where your mind is wired.